And if you're going to buy Herbert, just wait. The perception, the taste left everybody's minds and mouths right now is that he is horrible. That was a pathetic showing. I have a feeling the market is going to fall out of his stuff this next 3 months.
Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Live. Mike, you were just on eBay Live all night last night. How did you do?
It's so bad. You know, it'd be great if they sent a note. They're like, hey, guys, we appreciate all the
Jesse's
business.
not allowed to say eBay Live.
Yeah, we don't want Jesse. Yeah, here's the deal. We'll pay you all this money, not if Jesse ever says it. We don't want him to. We don't even want him.
bonus if he doesn't say it.
We don't even want him on eBay Live. So,
I don't think they
Drake
do.
Maye slinging on eBay Live, you winning. Everybody loves the show. There you go. There's your line. I didn't think of the rest.
To it. It was, you had one line. It was better than what you came in here with, which was
the Chargers are dying, people are crying, but not on eBay Live. No death, no crying on eBay Live. There you go. No death, no tears if you use the app. We had a great night of sales last night. It ties in nicely. I curated that show a little bit around the NFL playoff weekend, of course.
Oh.
And I figured I'm going to sell the people I think are going to lose.
Brother.
That's a rookie mistake. Joseph from Fanatics Live calling me during eBay Live read. I don't think that's a mistake.
Lord.
I curated based on who I thought was going to lose. So I thought the Bills would win, which I hate because I hate the freaking Bills. So I sold some Trevor Lawrence cards. Sold a couple Trevor Lawrence. I preemptively sold. I did actually sell a couple Caleb Williams because he had already won. He was kind of on the high.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams crushed.
Yes, he did.
Drake Maye, it was during the game. I was live for about the first 30 minutes, and I was like, I can't stay on much longer. Like, I need to
go and
dive
watch
into this game.
Yeah.
Because I had to play him. It's not the same. Drake Maye sold to the roof. I will say Bo Nix, people were very much apprehensive because I think at that point people were like, oh, we think they're going to play the Bills. They don't like it. And the Bills, by the way, came out as a favorite. So Bo Nix stuff was very like fine.
Yeah.
Caleb on fire. Drake Maye on fire. Sold a nice Christian McCaffrey 2017 Hollow Optic. That did very well. I was trying to find the exact number, and of course I can't find it now because I'm a moron.
Don't say that.
Trevor Lawrence was interesting. So I actually marked these sales down real quick. So Trevor Lawrence, I sold a PSA 10 2021 Select Hollow. So it was selling before the game and for about the last 4 days, really, because it jumped after that once they made the playoffs. 180 to 200, 205 technically. 180 to 205.
This was a silver select, you said?
Hollow. Same as silver, yeah.
Yeah.
Mine sold for 166. So 10 to 15% off.
Okay.
Considering they just lost and he looked terrible, I was actually surprised. I didn't think that car was crashing $150.
Yep.
I did sell Raw, his Blue Wave Prism rookie, numbered to 199. Mm-hmm. That was averaging 150, and there were sales as high as 175. Raw 180 as a PSA 9. Mm-hmm. That card sold for $99.
Ooh.
Now, couple that with the fact that it's Raw, I was like, okay, I guess I could see why. But yeah, that one took a bit of a hit. The McCaffrey, I was really trying to find the McCaffrey sale, which I cannot.
Wait, what was the card?
2017 Optic Hollow PSA 10.
I found I don't know. It's not your card, but I do see that card on Card Ladder. I've got it pulled up here.
What has it been selling for?
Last sale was it was the 30th, December 30th. So there has not been a sale since then, according to Card Ladder.
That's so weird. Yeah, I must have.
There's only 287 in the pop count, so there's not a lot.
I wonder if I spelled something wrong.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a 2017, not 16, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I definitely have the right card. I sold the right card. I just don't know. Man, that irritates me. That card, though, even the room was like, oh, dude, that's like a little bit higher than recent comps. But I don't know what it was. So.
Dang.
What did that card sell for then?
Last
200?
sale was 210.
Yeah, see, I think that card was like 220. If I remember right, I thought that card did 220 to 25-ish maybe.
Oh, really?
But I sold that literally within minutes of them winning the game. Like the second they won and he had that crazy, I was like, hey, it was on the stand the whole time because I was like, guys, let's see.
Yeah.
So I sold it then. So the timing was good on that. I think that was like the only playoff relevant stuff that I sold. But I thought, hey, this would be kind of fun to see how people react to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, I would have been curious to see how guys sold or bought Drake Maye stuff 2 hours later. He had a pathetic first half, but he was awesome in the second half.
So here's a question. When you had guys come into the room, what was the name that you heard the most asked for? Like, do you have any of XYZ?
Dude, it's so right. You know, here's the other thing. Yeah, we had 100 people consistently in the room all night. It was a crazy chat. It was actually the eBay Live chat is generally not very great. Of all the high points, the chat is not the best.
They're not talking as much?
Yeah, because it's a lot of like the same 15, 20 people on Fanatics Live are over there. But a lot of the new guys just come in, hey, have any of this, and they don't really say much.
Okay.
But there was no real consensus of like, hey, do you have this?
Oh,
A lot of Griffey's, a lot of Brady's.
I've often wondered if during the game is the best time to do it because there's so many guys who are watching the game.
Yeah, maybe not, but last night seemed to go well. And I also did at least half the show was baseball. I mean, I had some of the bigger pieces curated like that, but we sold like some Trey Yasovich, the Blue Jays pitcher, just came off a really awesome, postseason run. His stuff sold well. The Cam Smith I pulled with Leanne. I remember I told you about that red one that sold for $510. The only other comp was $530. I was thrilled. Like, that was a great sale.
Where'd you pull that out of?
Cosmic.
That was a box?
Personal box, yeah. So it was a Supernova red 1 of 5. We also sold for Bartley that Constellation out of Cosmic. So I started that at 400, which was the lowest comp. It sold for $419.
Oh, okay.
So overall, like, stuff was doing really, really well. Yeah, I was surprised to have that many people. To your point, if I didn't care about the game, I would have stayed on and gone the whole time because it seemed like people were reacting to the game in the chat a little bit.
Oh, really?
But it was the Pats. Like, I wanted to watch the game. So.
Sure. Well, I was looking at just a few sales from today. I haven't noticed there haven't been like a lot of sales since the end of these games. So at least the games from yesterday.
Okay.
I was noticing Drake Maye apparently he took a little bit of a dip because he was at one point selling for over 300 for his base PSA 10 Prism.
Okay.
I saw a few sales like 320. I think there was one maybe around 350 or so. He had dipped down to he had a sale yesterday. Now, granted, it closed on Fanatics Collect. I don't know what the deal is. It closed for $186.
Oh, somebody got a steal.
Yeah, because the one before it on eBay sold for $252. The one after it sold for $275. And then the most recent sale was $290.
And those are going to keep coming down, by the way, just because Prism is now, guys are getting those back.
Oh, yeah.
The PSA backlog is real. Like, that's more a reflection of just that than anything. Because I will say, like, on Facebook, he was the one guy. Caleb was on fire in the Facebook groups, like the high-end rooms.
Yeah, I believe that.
And Drake was. Like, even before the game, it was like, hey, they're going to stomp the Chargers. Mm-hmm. They did. It didn't start that way. But, yeah, like I said this last week, I love this time of year. If you're into flipping cards and yes, it's more the gambler mentality. I'm going to buy this guy because I think they're going to win.
Yeah.
But if that's your mentality, like, it's just a fun time. Like, you get to watch the game, you have something to root for.
I'm trying to find out if Bryce Young has actually taken a dip. He didn't play terribly. I mean,
first half was brutal. They could have won the game. The Rams played a weird second half. Like, they just let their foot off the gas so much, and then Carolina came back, but they just didn't win.
That fourth quarter was crazy.
Yep.
And then
every game was great except last night. Every game was close. Every
3-16, yeah.
Every game was within 1 minute. Like, was within one score at the very end of the game. Every single one. And you had some wild performances that I think leave you hopeful, a few teams. Like, I'll tell you right now, you add Micah Parsons back to a roster in Green Bay that is almost all returning. Jordan Love played as exceptional. Jordan Love maybe had the best game of any quarterback this weekend. Jordan Love was unbelievable.
Let me share this. I got this from our boy, Happy John, of course. You would expect nothing less.
Not as happy when they lost.
Yeah, well, he did send me this. So he said, in relation to Micah Parsons, he said, their skid to finish the season coincided with defensive end Micah Parsons' season-ending knee injury. The Packers did not win a game after Parsons got hurt, and their defense suffered. Green Bay allowed just 19 points per game and 287 yards per game in its first 13 games.
Yep.
Those numbers spiked to 28.8 points per game and 402 yards per game in the last 4.
So 9 extra points. So, like, again, to the hobby point, though, like, I look at Jordan Love, and I'm like, first of all, they don't have great weapons around him anyways. They have a good team, but not great offensively.
Yeah.
I expect the offense to get a little bit better and as good a defensive player as there is in the game to come back. Like, if I was today, my reaction for the weekend, if I'm like, who do I buy? I'd give it a couple weeks, and I would absolutely buy Jordan Love. That's another playoff game where he played absolutely phenomenal. And if Micah Parsons was on the field, they beat the Bears. Yeah. Micah Parsons is worth a few points. They beat the Bears.
I didn't realize he was the highest paid non-quarterback.
Yeah, just signed a massive. So, like, there's other guys, though, I come away not feeling like that. Like, Trevor Lawrence, as good of a season as he had, he was so bad in that game. I was like, oh, I don't know what I do here. Justin Herbert's another guy.
I was about to say, can we talk about Justin Herbert?
Yeah, because that's the other thing. People are like, well, what do you do with Herbert in the offseason? Wait till he dips and then buy. Again, offensive line is as dog crap as you could possibly have. Mm-hmm. Offensive weapons, although that's not true. He has decent weapons around him. But the line is garbage.
Well, I know he plays well at times, but
not yesterday.
And
their defense, by the way, was phenomenal. They had at least 2 turnovers. Drake threw a pick and lost a fumble. Well, he may have lost this.
They made these points about like how many times Justin got sacked, but I think they
7 or 8.
Yeah, but I think they sacked Drake at least 6, if not more.
Maybe.
I mean, he still got sacked quite a bit.
But that's the difference. Like, and honestly, almost a decent comparison. Look at Josh Allen. That offensive line stinks as well. He has some better weapons. Like, their running game is much better. But, like, Josh Allen is not out there with a star-studded offense. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Herbert was out there, again, with not a star-studded offense. The line is worse than Allen's, but I would argue his weapons are a little bit better. Terrible.
Yeah.
and you had every chance in the world to win that game. I mean, dude, it's 6-3 at halftime. Or maybe it was even 3-3 at half. I forget. But, like, multiple turnovers. He was terrible.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the Pats' defense is good. They're not that good. Like, that was unfreaking believable. So.
Bryce Young, I did go ahead and buy that card. I told you off air. I got that motif for $85.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I don't feel bad about buying that card, especially.
What is the plan with it, though?
I'm holding it.
Just holding.
Oh,
okay.
after seeing how he performed this year.
If he won, were you selling it though? Like, was that the?
Honestly, it would have to be some kind of big spike. It's not worth it to me to sell an $85 card for like $120 or something like that.
Money bags over there, 50% profit. Jesse just snickers.
Honestly, like I
forgot we're talking S&P Jesse over here.
To see
eBay
Bryce
Live
Young,
and Series 7 Jesse.
Listen, I don't know. I think Bryce Young could really go somewhere. He seems to be really. I don't like the last few games this year that I actually started watching him. I guess coming off of last year, I just thought he wasn't good. I thought it was just overhyped. He was good in college and didn't translate to the field in NFL.
He had a great ending last year again, though.
But now that I've actually watched him a little bit closer, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd hold on to him because I think at $31 for a PSA 10 Prism, like that's kind of crazy to me. Like it's crazy low because it's not like the pop counts out of this world. There's only 1,200 of them.
Here's the thing: you could tell me next year that team wins 6 games or 12, and I wouldn't be shocked either way.
Yeah.
Like they only won 8 games this year. Like they finished 8-10, but they made the playoffs, and that division is dog crap. So maybe. So yeah, but that was my big takeaway from the weekend. I think that's kind of what we talked about leading into that was like, hey, if you're going to make a play and hey, I'm going to load up on this player because I think they're going to win. Mm-hmm. I don't think there were any sure things yesterday, and that was absolutely the case.
Yeah,
like the only game, and it was only because of the second half, was the Pats game. Every other game goes either way. Caleb solidifies though he is as clutch a quarterback as there is in football right now. Like that guy.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing? I always like this thing too. Just a little sports, not even a hobby comment. Mm-hmm. When he comes out and they're getting just crushed in his rookie season. Yeah, because this weirdo's like painting his nails. He's a loser. He's not a leader of men. You know what he is now though? Now he's like the quirky. He's the quirky leader, dude. We love him. He's unique. It's like Belichick. He's like, he's just cranky dude, but like he's unbelievable. He's a mad genius. Then he goes to UNC and he sucks. He's like, he's just a jerk. Like Belichick's just a scumbag with a hoodie.
Well, it's his girlfriend too. I mean, let's be
the
fair,
13-year-old. Yeah. But yeah, like Caleb to me has totally changed the narrative on himself. He looks like at times the best. Like he makes throws, dude, that not a lot of other people make. He was phenomenal.
People can say what they want. It's when you are actually put under the gun, you actually perform, and how that looks after you've performed. I think that's when people make their. Well, that's when they start reversing and they jump on the bandwagon, of course.
Well, and I mean, at this point, it's not even a bandwagon. They won, 13 games this year, 12 games. Like, they were phenomenal. He played great. It's a huge win to beat Green Bay. And then you get to host the Rams, which should be a good game.
Yeah.
That's another game I wouldn't put $1 on. I don't know. If you told me that Stafford goes in and throws for 500 yards and crushes them, or throws 3 picks and they lose by 20, I have no inclination on that game.
I will say he seems to do well under pressure at least because like that was where like that last quarter and it was just back and forth scoring. It's like he could have collapsed. I don't know. I mean, he's won one before. Because I always try and put myself in the head of these guys. Like, what are they thinking in these moments? Like, are they trying to get themselves psyched? Like, or are they trying to just calm down and be like, hey, I've been here before. I've won a Super Bowl. I don't need to get too worked up over this. So it's
very close.
At the end of the day, though, how many guys can actually say that? Oh, I've been there before. I've won a Super Bowl. And I mean, not many.
Of guys in the playoffs this year, is he the only one that's won? Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers, and that is.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's it.
Yep. Actually, well, been to the Super Bowl, Purdy, but.
Yeah, that's another one. Like Kittle blew his Achilles yesterday, so he's done. And also, we just saw them play Seattle. That game's in Seattle. Seattle's well rested. I think Seattle's going to beat the crap out of them next week. Hopefully, I'm wrong. And that's another test, though. There's your test for Darnold. If he wins, I think guys with his cards now are going to say, okay, maybe I actually think you would see a bunch of people. I think you could see a buying spree on Darnold if they win. Because if you beat the Niners at home next week and prove you can win it, I think people would then take them as a clear favorite to win the NFC.
I am curious what Sam Darnold pricing is doing. Have you looked at that at all?
No.
I feel like we haven't talked about him. By the way, in the last month, I did find this interesting. So Matthew Stafford's up 76% as far as, again, that would be his 2009 Topps Chrome PSA 10. Josh Allen, his Prism PSA 10, it's up 83%. Then you've got Brock Purdy, he's up 47%. And then Caleb Williams is up 44%. So in that order of the guys who are moving forward, that's who's up the most. But Yeah,
and everybody you just mentioned has a chance. I mean, I think Purdy would be unbelievable if they won. Like they have a crazy path. Other than that, again, I really have no prediction. I don't think the winner of tonight's game can win another game. I think whoever wins tonight, that's it. You're one and done. You're losing next week. But the Bills could easily beat the Broncos vice versa, and I think the Pats. I think those three teams could come out of the AFC. Same in the NFC. Like, I think Seattle's coming out, but the Bears have been weird. The Niners are as talented as just about anybody, and so are the Rams. So
Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, same year, 2018.
Yep.
Any guesses? So Josh Allen is up 83% in the last month.
You talking PSA 10 base prism?
Yep.
What's he selling for, $350?
For which one?
I have no clue.
For Josh Allen. Josh Allen just sold for $485.
Okay, $485. Darnold, $200.
Darnold is $60.
Really? Yeah.
And it's he has half the pop count.
Yeah. A lot of guys weren't even grading him anymore. It makes sense, though. Like, the guy is just
crazy to me.
One guy's an MVP and the best quarterback in football, though. The other guys, you've seen a couple of runs. He has to win a playoff game.
Yeah, but you know how hype goes. Like, just because of you are stating some facts, but at the same time, it's like hype I would think.
There's no hype around Darnold, though. We saw this last year. They won, like Minnesota had a very good year last year with him. They lost their first playoff game. If he loses Sunday, and there is no hype because, again, we haven't seen it.
After this game, I would be very curious to see what happens after this game.
That gets different. If we see him play great in a playoff game, yes. You want to totally switch gears and talk baseball now with Aram?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's add an Aram Leighton, just baseball.
Aram Leighton of Just Baseball has officially joined the podcast. Aram, how the heck are you? It's been a little bit.
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been too long. I'm always excited to get on here, and especially when it's Bowman Draft season, so I appreciate you guys having me.
He's got the shirt on this time. You see, that's a JB shirt.
Oh, this guy, every time we see him, his setup is just a step up more professional than it was the last time. This guy's going places.
Who is the jet fighter by? Is that Maverick behind you? Who is that?
That's Ted
Goose.
Williams.
Oh, is it really?
So
okay.
my late father was in aviation, and so of course that was just the coolest piece ever to him as a baseball guy in aviation. And he gave me everything. He gave me all of his stuff, his cards. We've talked about that connection, but he collected so many different things that we would go through different storage areas of his warehouse. And again, he was in aviation, so he had a warehouse for aviation stuff, and I found that thing deep in there, not even in any sort of encasing. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I'm really pumped about that. I'm actually really glad you brought this up because I have an irrational fear of
here we go.
The autograph fading.
Is it in direct sunlight?
Because of the sentimental value, right? You could say, oh, just go buy another one. I'm really scared of the autograph fading on both of these pieces behind me because, again, both are from my father. What is the best way to go about that other than very obviously keeping it out of sunlight?
Well, like Jesse just said, museum grade glass on your frame is totally UV and light resistant. Yes.
I'm pulling it up as we speak. You can find it pretty cheaply, actually.
You know what? Little gift to the show. Send us a dimension. We're going to send you a frame on the house.
What are the sizes? 15 by 13
no, that's
inches. Bigger. It's a bigger piece.
So the 500 home run club is also your dad's?
Yes. Yeah, he gave that to me way back, actually. That was a gift to me.
That's pretty cool. I had that one time and sold it like an idiot. That's still top 3 regrets of all time.
You had
pieces.
That?
Dude, I had that piece, and I bought it from the guy who had the original 9 ticket stubs. You had to present the ticket to each player. Here's one for Mickey Mantle. You give him the ticket, he signs it. He had all 9 original ticket stubs, and like a moron, I sold it for some profit.
What's interesting about it is it doesn't have any of the PED era guys. So depending on how you feel about that, you don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
And it's all just ahead of that.
What autos do you have on there?
Hang on, let me see if I can recite it here. I used to know the 9. You got Mickey, Ted, and Willie.
You're saying 9, but I'm seeing at least.
Oh, maybe there's 11. Excuse
11 people on there.
So Mickey, Ted. This is riveting. Mickey, Ted, Willie, Ernie Banks, Harmon Killebrew, Michael Jack Schmidt. McCovey? Is McCovey on there?
Yep.
Eddie Matthews?
Yep.
Oh, crap. Eddie Matthews.
That's 8.
Reggie Jackson?
9.
Yep.
Crap. I'm struggling here. Oh, boy. And I can name all 29 guys with Henry Hank Aaron, your boy.
Heard of him.
Yep.
10, I'm missing 1. Ooh. It's not good.
Aram, do you know who he's missing?
You didn't
Frank
say
Robinson.
Ernie Banks, did you?
I said Banks. I didn't say Frank Robinson.
Okay, Frank Robinson. Yep, Frank, that's who you were missing.
Wow, it's pretty
Aram, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Yep, that's all we
we'll
needed
talk to you
for.
next.
All right, see you guys.
9 minutes of sound check, a little walk down memory lane. We're right out of here, folks. All right, 2025 Bowman Draft. I do want to get to the elephant in the room. You just mentioned offline, which is, by the way, the first thought I had. Number one, pricing. It is ridiculously expensive this year. Like, compared to the last couple of years where we've had unbelievable transcendent talent right out of the gate. Yep. Skeens, last year, Jackie Kaggs, Kurtz, ridiculous. Compared to the last 2-3 seasons, is the price out of whack, or is there a reason for it?
It's out of whack. I wish I could just come on here and drum up excitement, because I am excited. It's still every draft is going to have players that we don't expect to be really good, and they end up being really good, and everyone collects the cards because it's still the MLB draft. Sure. But you compare it to 2024, where we had all these drafts, all these college kids that already were dominating in the SEC, things like that. And you see how quickly they're moving up through the minor leagues to, like you mentioned, already have success in the major leagues. But even the like second tier guys, where you have like a Carson Bench, who I think I mentioned on the show, like that's a guy to target Reddit. That would be like a tier 1 guy for me in this draft class. And he was kind of an afterthought in the 2024 class for a little while. Now you're seeing his prices go up. There's so much depth to the 2024 class. And that's what I love about it, is you have the college guys, then you have the elite high school guys as well. Of course, we talk about Connor Griffin. Bryce Rayner was on a great path before dislocating his shoulder, the Tigers prospect. This 2025 class is weak. 2026 is going to be great, but Bowman Draft, I think, has just become such an exciting product for that reason. And because of how many players make that leap right away, college, high school, whatever it may be, with the way that these players are developing so much more quickly, I feel like it's being leveraged a little bit against the consumer here. And it's a little disappointing, because it's just getting really hard to get in. I can't, I'm struggling to justify it, and it's hard. So I'm finding, second, third round guys and buying their individual spots and breaks so I can have some fun. But yeah, I love ripping Bowman Draft. It's been one of my favorite things to do since 2020, and I just don't know how I'm going to be able to do it this year.
So here's another thing, too. The other glaring issue we heard about right off the bat was Holiday not being in it, which I always hold somebody over. But the fact that Holiday has autos, and what the heck is his name now? Ethan Holiday. Like, I thought he would be a guy off the bat that would come out. There's been a ton of hype around him forever, it feels like. So he gets pushed off. So let me just throw a couple names at you then of guys who are in this and signing, and kind of get your thoughts.
Hey, before you go all the way into that, can I just say what the pricing is?
Oh, yeah,
I
please.
don't think we actually mentioned what it is. So a draft hobby box is going for $750.
So real quick, hobby is the old jumbo. Draft used to come in just jumbo and super jumbo. Mm-hmm. Hobby is now jumbo. There's 3 autos. It's still your 12 thick packs, like all your base, paper, and chrome. $750 for that, you're saying?
$750 for that. You've got Breaker's Delight, which is $975.
So Breaker's Delight is also new this year.
Who can afford this?
It is what. So the last couple of years, it's been just 3 autographs and no base. This year, it's 3 autos plus 7 to 8 inserts, parallels, numbered cards. Better,
and this is why breaks are the only way now, right? Like, I want to get into that. I have to just buy a team spot and a break.
Yeah, it's just expensive. I mean, even there, though, like, again.
Even there, but at least I can pick my spots, right? Like, I like the Tigers kids. So I can buy into a case for $100-something, right?
So to put in perspective, too, like last year, HTA Choice, which is a Breaker's Delight is a superior product to HTA. HTA being just 3 cards, only autos, no base, no nothing else. Mm-hmm. Last year's boxes are $1,000. This year's are $975 for a superior product, but still, that's like way closer than I think it should be.
I do think a lot of times they just get the finance people involved, and they're like, "Oh, what are we pricing this at?" Yeah. And it's like, "Well, let's see what last year."
Regardless of class,
they're not really thinking.
Jumbos last year were $1,000.
Do you guys think there's going to be a correction period here, or are we just inevitably heading in the same direction because breakers will keep the market,
Yeah,
I guess just keep them selling boxes.
I worry because, like, here's the other piece, too. I mean, you're not getting a company change. Like, Topps and Fanatics have the license for the next 18 years. Like, that's not changed. 17 years, whatever it is. That's not going anywhere. Whenever they release stuff on the website, it sells out. And then if all else fails, you've got breakers that can find ways to be creative and unique and cut up the price so it works. I do hate that it just seems like everything. And then we get a little glimmer of hope, though. Like, we just got solicited for Pristine, and it was cheaper than last year.
Oh, really?
Pristine's an excellent product. I thought it was going to come out way higher, but like you can't have the one-offs be the cheap stuff.
So do you think they're just treating Bowman Draft specifically? It's just kind of like their crown jewel premium. The way they look at it is like it's the highest end of collectors anyway, so they're going to pay for it, and let's squeeze out every drop that we can. Because like even in this weak class, starting it on a negative note, there's still so many players that I'm going to be excited to target and that I think are really talented. Because again, it's the MLB Draft.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, like you could make the case, right? Like, hey, it is the best of all the prospect products, period. It's always better than Bowman and Bowman Chrome, not even close. You have an improved skew in Breaker's Delight instead of HTA this year. But yeah, even with a crappy, relatively weak class, like compared to the last few years, it's still going to sell out. Like breaks are still filling like crazy. Like people save up for months for Bowman Draft. So I do almost
from
feel
a
like
business perspective, why would you cut the prices?
I know, which I hate.
Why would you stop?
Yeah, I know. Ruben, if you're listening, just give me a shout. We'll talk this through. Let me get specific with a few guys then. So number one is Eli Willits. He has been by far the most hyped. People are expecting his pricing to be by far the biggest. He's the pick for the Nationals. I'll give you this. I know nothing about the kid. My one fear is he's going to the Nationals. James Wood has a crazy bat and sells for way cheaper than he should have because he's on the Nationals, I feel like. But what are your thoughts on Eli?
So it's funny. I think that's a very, very valid concern up until about 6 to 8 months ago. And then Paul Taboni took over from the Red Sox. He's one of the youngest, I think is the youngest executive in baseball right now. But I love what he is doing with the Nationals from top to bottom, from pitching coaches that they're hiring in the minor leagues to the trades that they've been making to the overhaul of their player development infrastructure. Like, I'm bullish on what the Nationals are doing, and they were a team that was very set in their ways, obviously, and had some success, but also just was a little bit behind the 8 ball, and it needed a refresh, and they got that. I feel really good about where this Nationals farm system is headed and where they're headed in general in terms of top to bottom there. So I think this is a good organization to actually buy low on. And it's funny. I was going to ask you guys about that because I've noticed, not to digress, I'm sorry. I noticed when I was trying to find some of my sleepers and buy in, there's a second round pick with the Mariners, Nick Becker, and I was shocked at his prices. But I also realized now collectors are smarter than ever, right? So they're betting on organizations. The Mariners draft as well as anybody in Major League Baseball over the last handful of years. Why wouldn't you just go bet on those types of players in the second, third round for the Mariners? So I was going to ask you guys, like, do you see collectors really betting on the organization? And I think the way that you presented that question answers it for me. But to answer your question before I answer your question with the question, I like Willits a lot because I think he's in a great org now, that the org is heading in a great direction. He has a great skill set that gives him a really high floor. He may not be a superstar, but I'm also not going to rule that out when he was one of the youngest players in the draft, 17 years old. He's going to stick at shortstop. The bat to ball is great. His dad played in the big leagues. He may end up just becoming a really well-rounded everyday player. And, at that point, maybe, the hobby cools on him, but I still think there's room to run because this is a guy that could become one of the better young prospects in baseball just off the sum of his parts.
Okay, so that's good. Number 2, Angels, Tyler Bremner. Number 2 pick. Angels are, of course, like a top 10 price team for sure. What thoughts on him?
I mean, I think people like him because he's going to be fast-tracked, as is the MO for, every single player that's ever drafted by the Angels. I like Bremner. I just think there's other pitchers to target in this product that are more exciting. I think there's some things he needs to adjust and tweak. The changeup is going to carve out a big league career for him alone, and he sits 95. So like those two things are going to make him a big league arm. But to be rewarded for a pitcher and taking on the risk of a pitcher, I'd want a little bit more upside. So given that price point, probably not one of the first guys I'm targeting. Obviously, if I pull him, I'm pumped on it. Like very talented arm, but still has some things to iron out. And I'm worried that they're going to rush him before he irons those things out. And then you have this kind of tweener where people don't really know how to value him.
Okay. Let me just round out the top 5. Of course, missing Holiday at the 4. So Cade Anderson for the Mariners, Liam Doyle for the Cards.
I love Cade Anderson. I think the floor is so high with him, but also he has that ceiling. Great organization for pitching development. And then also they just draft so well. Couldn't believe that Cade actually fell into their lap. Throws a ton of strikes. The floor is, back into the rotation arm. So at least you have a guy that's going to get to the big leagues. But I think the ceiling here is a number 2 type of starter that I think could be really quickly fast tracked through the minor leagues. So I'm a big fan of Anderson's, and I think there's even more to unlock there. One of the hardest players for me to assess right now is Liam Doyle because he has such exciting potential, but it's very fastball dependent. His fastball jumped like 2 or 3 ticks in this last year. He's still trying to find consistency with the secondaries. And like, I could see a world where he ends up as a high leverage reliever. But some in the industry absolutely love him and some people I really respect. So that's kind of slowed me from being much lower on him. But to me, I'd be going after Cade Anderson way more.
Okay. And then last out of the top 5 here, Seth Hernandez for the Pirates.
That's it's a risky game to play when you talk about prep righties, but pitchers are risky anyways. I'd be absolutely thrilled to pull a Seth Hernandez. His upside is the highest of any pitcher in this class.
Really?
And I think so, without a doubt. I mean, he's pushing north of triple digits. You could say a lot of things about the Pirates, and I say a lot of things about them on the Just Baseball show all the time, and most of them are negative. The one thing you can't hate on them for is identifying pitching and developing pitching. Yep. It's not just Skeens. It's not just Bubba. They've got waves of arms, which they have now converted into some of their bats. Hernandez doesn't really need that much development either. I think it's a guy that out of Corona, California, the people that are around him, he's got his own regiment already, and I think he's going to be just fine. But it is potential for elite stuff in an organization that has done a pretty good job with those types. And I think if you're going to bet on a pitcher, why not bet on the pitcher that could be the best of them all?
Yeah, that's fair. I will tell you, too, just hearing you say that as well, here's my other, it's a fear. It also shows the change in the market. The fact that 4 of the top 5 picks that are in the product are pitchers. Any other year, that would absolutely shatter a product. I do feel like, though, this is still remnants of the Paul Skeens effect. Like, you had Skeens who set the world on fire. Yamamoto in 2024 as a rookie came up and did what he did. Chase Burns, Rhett Loder. Like, we've now seen all these guys. So I do think this is like the only year you could ever get away with a product coming out highly priced where a bunch of the big chases are going to be pitchers. So hopefully that trend continues. Like I said, and if that's the case, I mean, Seth Hernandez throws triple digits. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and then the feel for the secondaries, the changeup's nasty. I think he could have a really complete arsenal that's going to make him a weapon. And he has the buzz to him, too. Like, people that are really into the prospect world, like, I've been hearing his name for a while now, and I think that tends to stimulate the market, at least from my experience just watching a little bit more quickly. Do you feel like the organizational aspect is impacting the market more than ever? Because you mentioned it with the Nationals, and like, I think it's crazy how cheap Wood is when Kurtz is as expensive as he is. I think I get what Kurtz did statistically, but if you put James Wood in that environment, I think I don't know if it would have been the same thing, but it's pretty damn good. It would have been pretty close. And also, like, James Wood still turned in a fantastic year. His market kind of breaks my brain.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It used to be a small market team won't sell because there's not a fan base. I think people have gotten away from that, quite frankly, starting with Wander. Like, that pervert when he went to Tampa. Like, Tampa was nothing. But now it's like, hey, but he's the number one. There's all this hype. And so now it's not so much the team. I think a lot of guys honestly view it as, how is the team at developing talent? I'll give you a great example of where it would be totally different 5-10 years ago. The Red Sox used to just be a highly sought-after team because they were a big market team. Aside from Roman Anthony, like, there's not another single really hobby-relevant guy that's come up with them that they've developed. I think people have cooled on that organization, but then you look at the A's, like, dude, how much talent has come out of there the last 5 years? And the Pirates are dog crap. The three of us could start for the Pirates and probably win games. Like, that's a crap organization. But then you look, you're like, well, Connor Griffin's probably the number one offensive prospect. We just saw Skeens, all the other pitchers. Now guys look at Seth Hernandez like, yeah, the team's dog crap, but worst case, he's just a great pitcher there. Best case, he's a great pitcher, and in 6 years he puts on the pinstripes in New York, and then it's like a whole phenomenon. And
that's the thing. That part takes care of itself, too, right? If the guy plays great, he'll pitch his way somewhere else.
Exactly.
And that's the unfortunate reality of baseball, but a fortunate reality for the hobby where your guy's not going to be held hostage. And if he does, that means he gets a massive extension, and the team's going to be incentivized to try to build around him.
Yeah, exactly. Let me throw a few more names just because I know guys are loading up on PYTs. They're buying the product heavy.
Can you tell me about JoJo Parker?
That's my next name. JoJo Parker for the Blue Jays. He's another guy. I knew nothing about him, but he is a top 10 anticipated guy, it feels like.
Yeah, he can hit. And I think that's the fun part of it. You know, you think about his situation, though, right? Like, even as a high school guy, if he's moving a little bit more quickly, he's got to really mash to force his way into an opportunity there. I think he'll be more station to station than some other prospects, but he can really, really hit. And I think that's the most exciting part. Not as clear cut of a guy that's going to stick at shortstop, but I think when you look at the bat to ball, the power potential, just how advanced the swing is. Honestly, when I'm looking at guys to pick up some cards of in Bowman Draft, that's the big part of it too. It's just, you know, how advanced are their swings. There's guys that I just like their approach and the floor there. And I think JoJo Parker is one of the guys that I think really helps elevate this product, where it's not, you know, one of the top 5 picks that you're really, really getting a ton of hype on, but brings a lot to the table that could make him, you know, I think a consensus top 50 prospect by the middle of the season if he does everything the way that I think he's capable of.
So here's what's weird about JoJo as well. it feels like the sentiment with JoJo is he's one of the few really highly anticipated. He's going to come out selling really well, but there's going to be a bunch of promotions throughout the next calendar year for him. So there's maybe opportunities to hold him, grade him, and then flip him later. Do you think that's true? Like, is he going to get a bunch of promotions if he plays well, or is it kind of he's starting in single, double, whatever, and he sits there?
I think nowadays guys will move. If you hit, they'll move you kind of quick. But, I think compared to like a Connor Griffin, I think it's rare to see guys move that quickly. And I think the idea that they'll probably want JoJo to develop and try every single aspect of making sure he can stick it short. So they may not want to rush. Even if the bat's ready, they may not want to fast track him quite as much. But to your point there, like he has the offensive skill set to move more quickly than most of his peers. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. I think he'll hit his way off a low A pretty quick. I think the interesting thing is just high A to double A and when they kind of think that part's ready.
All right, last two names out of kind of rounding off the top 10 for price-wise at least. Steele Hall for the Reds, Billy Carlson for the White Sox.
Both guys that are tooled like up. So if it all works out, holy crap. Okay. I think Steele Hall, I have a little bit more confidence in getting into those tools. But Billy Carlson, I mean, the projection, the explosiveness, like he was a two-way player on the same high school team as Seth Hernandez, which is just nuts. Both those guys are fun gambles that clearly the hobby is not afraid of taking risk there. I think people have thrown out the idea that like Hall has a skill set that's a little bit reminiscent of Trey Turner. I think with Carlson, you can't even really make a comp because you don't know how much more power he can add. His swing is just much further off. It's very lungy, big barrel tip, really noisy. So he's going to have to calm those things down. And sometimes that's hard for hitters. So I have a little bit more concern around Carlson. But again, both of these guys are huge speed, power projection, could be great gloves at shortstop as well. And I think both are going to stick there. So you have this really dynamic upside.
Nice. So that's kind of the big names. Those are the big chases for sure. What's the next level? Like who's the sleepers or even just like kind of second, third rounders who you look at and think, hey, there's value there?
So somebody that drummed up a ton of hype and I was thinking it could be a good pickup for me, but now I'm thinking it just might be, I think everybody might just be tapped in, especially because he's a Yankee, is Dax Kilby. And that was a guy that I was going to ask you about his prices. Dax Kilby was their first round pick. The Yankees do a good job. They do a really good job of identifying amateur talent, especially. And Kilby, it was 18 games, but he was impressive enough in those 18 games, especially if you're a Yankees prospect. It's a little bit easier to get that attention, but impressive enough in those 18 games where I think it clearly was a guy that people said, oh, maybe he should have been higher on our draft boards, right? He hit 350 in 18 low A games. Remember, this is a high school kid jumping right into low A. A lot of kids usually struggle in that scenario. Extremely patient, good bat to ball, budding power. He may not stick it short, so that's an interesting wrinkle. But we're talking about a left-handed hitter here that's clearly ahead of his peers and couldn't have had a much better pro debut. You add in the Yankees side, and I figured he'd probably be one of the more expensive guys in this product, which is nuts, given that he was in the back end of the first.
So just to give you some reference too, it's kind of weird. This is just our pricing, but I think we're fairly in line. The Nationals at $450 to $500 is their pricing, depending on what SKU we're ripping. And then your cheapest team, you're talking $75 for the Padres, $50 to $75. The Yankees are like dead middle of the road. On average, $235.
Is that a case of what? Hobby?
That's what I'm saying. Between the SKUs. So they're between $220, $250 for the Yankees. So Yankees are like dead middle pricing.
Wow.
So you actually think there's maybe some value there?
So I'm working on, for Dynasty Fantasy players, we do like a first-year player draft guide. So, when you're playing Dynasty Fantasy, like in between each season, so you draft, that you have your own draft based on the players that are available from the MLB draft and the international free agents. And, I'm struggling to keep Dax Kilby, one, outside of the top 10, and two, really anywhere behind. Like, it was looking between him and JoJo Parker. I don't want to overreact to 18 games, so I'm probably going to slot him right behind JoJo. But I think it's pretty similar from a hobby perspective as well. And then when you bake in the Yankees part, like I think there's some areas that are already pricing him up like that, like a little bit higher because they're privy to the hype that's probably coming.
Sure.
But on the other side, I think if you're able to find a Yankee spot for middle of the road, not just because he's a Yankee, I do think that he is a really well-rounded player. That can drum up a lot of excitement. And look at what the Yankees did with Lombard in a similar draft position, and how quickly they're pushing him, where he met his match a little bit at the upper levels, which is fine. But also, just how impressive the skill set has immediately been.
Well, and I will say too, I don't think there's the market bias there used to be, but there definitely is the upside. Like that kid Cam Schleiter, whatever the kid's name, the pitcher.
Schlittler.
Schlittler. That one game against the Red Sox, granted, it was an unbelievable game, but like if he does that for the Twins in the postseason, it's one thing. When you do that for New York against Boston, it does also add that level of like, hey, probably not going to happen, but what if the ceiling gets weird for one of these guys? And if he's in New York, it definitely adds a next level to it. So,
yeah, I 100% agree.
A couple other names really quick, some guys that people had talked about. Not sure if he's totally under the radar. My buddy Adam and Mike were talking about this. Marcus Phillips. I actually don't even know what team Marcus is on. What's the deal? Any clue on Marcus Phillips?
Oh,
Marcus Phillips.
Oh, we might have stumbled.
Red Sox pitcher?
Classic glow of a monitor.
I believe he's the Sox pitcher.
Yeah, I'm digging into my notes there because I have the whole draft class notes I had ready to go just in case you got me on a guy that I didn't have like off the dome numbers on.
I apologize.
You look it up. I'll share a couple quick facts about those top 10 that you guys talked about. All right. So First off, Liam Doyle. Doyle was one of the nation's most prolific strikeout pitchers in 2025, setting the single-season strikeout record at Tennessee. That's a fun fact for you.
Go Vols.
Eli Willits. This is actually interesting. I think you might appreciate. Youngest number one pick in nearly 40 years.
He's 17, right?
Just 17 when he was drafted, making him the youngest first overall pick since.
Oh, hang on. Give me the year.
No. You'll get
Bryce Harper.
Oh, Griffey?
Yeah.
Dang, since 89?
87.
Oh, he said first overall pick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's 80. Dang, okay.
Wow.
That's a fun fact for you.
That's a very fun. Marcus Phillips, by the way, yes, pitcher for the Sox.
Yeah, you bought me enough time here. I could actually look at the scatter plot. Yeah, so
I'll do what I can.
The Red Sox are
Karen
really
is
good
so
at developing these types of pitchers, and he's got a little bit of a cut to the fastball that I think is going to perform well. Also, the Red Sox pitching development right now is something I'd bet on every day of the week. So like if you're looking for cards, if you're dipping into the pitcher realm, like the Red Sox are going to do a pretty good job with their guys. So fastball average 96, slider and changeup look good, and he's in a good organization. I think is like a more under the radar pitcher. Definitely intriguing. And this is where the draft product becomes fun because those guys are going to pop out of nowhere. And I think that's where the depth of this class will become a little bit better, once the season gets started. But yeah, these are the types of guys that I think could be fun to target.
I will say, that's also the biggest takeaway, though, like we talked about, is the pitcher thing. The fact that we've got this many guys asking specifically by name about, hey, what pitcher
that's wild.
The next question I had in this little thing was, hey, okay, take out the pitchers. Who am I chasing? Some other names. So Ike Irish, which I thought this was
that's not a real name.
Totally fake name. Also, it's weird on this checklist. He's on 3 different teams. I actually don't know what team he's on. Did he get drafted in
Orioles?
He is in the Orioles. Okay.
So he was like the only guy from this draft class that didn't get traded because the Orioles had 4 picks in the top 40 because of compensation stuff and they were put in a really good spot there. But Irish was the guy I think they were most excited about. And I mean, Irish is exactly what I like to look for in the hobby, which is a blend of hit and power. So you have that safety net in case one doesn't totally get unlocked. The interesting thing with him is where he's going to end up positionally. He catches a little bit. He plays a little bit of corner outfield. They're going to try the catching thing. I don't think it's going to work there. And I think he ends up in a corner outfield spot where he can just lean into mashing. And I think you could have a really fun blend of hit and power, really advanced hitter that, I think a lot of teams were kicking the tires on the classic. Like, I like him so much. Let's underslot him at pick number 4 or 6 or 8 for the 20th pick value. And then, have some more money to work with in the second round. Similar to what the A's have done better than anybody. They did that with Nick Kurtz. They did that with Jacob Wilson. So I think that's, if you ask me just open-ended, that would have been one of the names I would have answered as someone to target in the product.
Okay. The other one was Ethan Conrad for the Cubbies.
Yeah, people are getting good. I'll tell you what, since I first started coming on the show, the questions are so much more pointed to guys that I wouldn't think would be asked about and that I was prepared to actually,
You're educating the people here, Aram. This is what's happening.
No,
you're making these dummies smarter. I don't care for it.
If you need to look up
I don't know if I could take the credit. We're in a world now where there's a lot of information out there and people are doing a good job of getting it. Conrad, I love. Okay. I love. And talk about another organization. They are nailing it with the bats.
Yeah.
Nailing it. Matt Shaw, Cam Smith, who I think the hobby cooled on unfairly. He skipped the minor leagues outright and then learned a new position.
Yep. And played great. He was a great bat last year.
Played great.
Yep.
Conrad, I think, is the latest. They identify swing so well. I love Conrad's swing. I love the potential for power there as well. He would have been, I think, a top 10 pick had he not had his season wiped out due to injury. He started at Marist, transferred to Wake Forest, was then just going nuts and ready to kind of put himself on display as a top 10 pick, and then, went down. He's fully healthy. He's a guy that I think is probably one of the best targets in this product. I was going to ask you guys what his price point is relative to the other guys.
Yeah, so to give you an idea, so like the Cubs, again, high is the low in our PYT is 75, the high is 500. The Cubs come in at 120. That seems crazy. They're like the 10th really cheapest team. Like they're not even.
I'm going to go buy. The second we get off of this, I'm going to go buy 2 team spots. I think.
Okay, this is have to beat me to it.
This is working out nicely. Okay, last name I got here real quick that a couple guys asked about was Gavin. Is it Fen?
Yeah, I think Gavin Feen. So it's funny. He is one that the prospect community and I see a lot of people having excitement about him, and I think he could be really good. Like I always hate skewing on the negative side. I just don't know if I see as much as what some others seen. Like I've seen some people say he's one of the best, if not the best, prep bat in the class and this and that. And I just think the swing is far off. He's going to need to slug because there's some swing and miss there. The approach is a little bit of work in progress. I'm not as high on him, to be honest.
Okay.
Like that. But again, he's 18, so he could end up absolutely mashing and then I don't want to be the reason why no one bought his cards. I would just say tread lightly. Like, because again, only reason I'm saying that is I've seen people be ridiculously bullish on him. And I don't know if they're incorporating, some of the deficiencies, one of which he just is not in a position where he can really pull the ball in the air very much yet. And I think that's something that you're going to really need to do to be able to succeed of a player of his archetype, who's probably going to be third baseman, bat first, power first. Yeah, that's not a profile I gravitate towards as much.
Here's what I like, by the way. You're talking about what you've actually seen with him. And here's what's crazy. This is the first one is the total opposite of everything I read from my research on these guys, which I like because I actually trust what you say as opposed to just words on a computer. Known for his polished swing, big hit potential immediately, like above average power, good strike zone judgment, great first at bat profile. It's like those are cool keywords, but you're saying you don't think this kid's swing is anywhere near ready right now.
No, not to be where I think
guys.
People have him. I think there's a lot of moving parts. He doesn't use his lower half very well yet. But again, the thing that's so hard with these kids is they could go to a hitting facility. They're super athletic. Somebody makes helps them make some adjustments, or the team does, and then all of a sudden they go nuclear. Sure. But that said, he is not. I wouldn't use that description for him.
Okay.
And in our Rangers top prospect list, he's outside our top 100, and he was closer to the 7 or 6 or 7 range in there. I don't think that's a guy that is top end target for me in this.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So let me just ask you kind of open-ended then. I know we named a couple of the guys you had in your list. Anybody else you're targeting where you say, hey, there could be some value? Because I am curious, where it'll be according to the pricing at least.
Yeah, I'm really excited to react once we get some spring training time and early in the season and see, what some of these guys are doing, and I can try to catch on quickly. But the Tiger spots in specific. So
it's cheap.
The Tigers they do a really good job of Scott Harris loves his hit tool guys. And then they hope that the hit tool, the power, can blossom to complement the hit tool. Kevin McGonigal no one thought he would hit for power. I kept pounding tables, and he will. And here he is. He's slugging, man. He's slugging.
That dude can crush. Yep.
And if it weren't for Connor Griffin being an alien life form, McGonigal would be the number 1 prospect in baseball. Max Clark, that's a guy I was definitely a little too harsh on. He has added more power than I would have thought. Not quite to the degree of McGonigal, but he's added power. I think this is going to be a similar, not quite to the degree of their power, but a similar situation with Yost, where he's Jordan Yost, wiry, skinny, but so advanced for his age, really fundamentally sound shortstop, really advanced approach, really good feel to hit. And I mean, he could add probably 20 pounds of muscle. And I think that's a guy that I think will. And then the second pick for them, Michael Oliveto, is another just I know he might not catch kind of the Irish thing, but he's similar to the Irish thing where I love the hit and power combination that you can dream on here with a kid that also has room for more strength. And if they move him off a catcher, he'll go play corner outfield and destroy baseball. So I think that is a really underrated duo in this product because I like you said, that the price is low and you have two different guys that I'd be really happy to pull in this product. And I'd say Nick Becker as well. I just really like everything about his game. I think it's super well-rounded. And I think that's going to allow him to kind of fly up the prospect ranks pretty quickly. But that's, and then big time gamble. But if it works out, the ceiling is outrageous. Is Xavier Nyans from the Astros.
Okay.
He slipped to the back end of the first round because there was some big whiff, in the summer circuit and some of the big tournaments and stuff where a lot of the scouts were at. But this is a kid that was playing in like rural Washington and absolutely destroyed everybody out there. Didn't really see a ton of top end competition. Had some things get exposed a little bit, but he is freaky quick with the bat. Really, really whippy, crazy power, big kid, a lot to dream on. And, I don't know where he's priced at, but I think that's a guy that, if you're going to take a chance, I think there's a lot of players that are always going to have some hit tool concern. Give me a guy that I think could have 70 grade power. And in a farm system, by the way, where he's like immediately, especially after the trades, like immediately their top prospect.
Well, here's what's wild. So they're one of only 3 teams we have priced under $100, the Astros. So, and even the Mariners, by the way, to your point, like the Mariners are a little bit more expensive, $305, but you've got Cade and that kid Nick, like, again, for like a top 10-ish type team, seems like there actually may be some value there. So, yeah.
When are you guys ripping?
Wednesday morning, all day. Yep, Fanatics Live. All our breaks are posted under Sports Cards Nonsense. We'll have breaks all day between Eddie and myself, personal cases. I'm actually going to try some breaks on eBay Live as well. It's a little more clunky over there. We're going to give those guys a shot too. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the color, I'm really hoping they make up. That is the one thing. I know the pricing's not going to get messed with. I hope we at least see a really good product. Like, color is plentiful.
One of the last things I wanted to mention, I love that they're complimenting these, even though they're so hard to ever pull, complimenting them with like kind of the needle in the haystack with the Brady thing previously. And this year it's Sadaharu O.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So much of what I've learned about hitting is from the Sadaharu O's book. And he's one of my favorite just baseball icons ever. And I love that they're leaning into the Japanese thing as MLB and Japan and just become further entrenched in each other. And I think just embracing the Japanese culture, because so much of stateside baseball there's been so much learned over here that comes from Japan as well, that should be acknowledged. And O is one of my like favorite all-time personalities too, just from reading the book. Not that he does much on TV, but so much of what I've learned is from that. I don't know what those cards are going to cost, but I will do just about anything to get one of them. I don't know what I got to do. I may have to trade my entire McGonagall stash. I don't know. But, just wanted to put that out there. If anyone pulls a Sadaharu O, let me know. I don't know what the odds are on that thing.
Yeah, so he's got the retrofractor variation, just the base card, and then he's got the autograph. I'm trying to think of who the guy was in Bowman Chrome. Was it Ty Cobb? Oh, it was a random one in Bowman Chrome, and those base cards are going like for a $500.
But they did Shoeless Joe, right?
Oh, Shoeless Joe. That's yeah, Shoeless Joe. Yeah, and they were crazy money. Yeah, I'll be curious. I mean, the autos are going to go for stupid money. Yeah, we've had guys. It's funny. We've had guys asking about that spot, and we just said, "Hey, we're not gonna." It's such a long shot. I hate selling that spot. So
you're just taking people's money.
Yeah. So if we hit one, it'll literally just be a random to guys in the break. But yeah, I would have to imagine, like especially with the Ohtani buzz, like the Yamamoto buzz, like the Japanese buzz is crazy. I think he's the only retrofractor. I think. I bet those cards go for. I bet his base cards go for well over $1,000.
And he's the home run king. He's the true home run king.
Does he have like 800 home runs or something ridiculous?
yeah, and he's built like me.
Oh, he's a little guy?
He's like 5. I think he's like 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, that's not little. Just to be clear.
But like 5'10", but like in terms of like he's not he's not strong. He's probably 170 pounds and just perfected the baseball swing by training with a samurai. It's a great book.
Dang. Yeah, and by the way, he is the only retrofractor this year. No other guys, just him. That's pretty cool. I like it. Aram, as always, man, thank you for the time. Killed it. We appreciate it. And we'll, maybe we'll have you back in like a couple weeks just to kind of get a reaction to the market once it settles.
I would love to. And I would also just, I'd love to pick your guys' brand on it anyway. So we might as well do it on air, right? And have everybody else listen in. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It's always a blast. And I end up asking you guys questions, so I appreciate the info as well. One last name, actually, I always do this at the end.
Yep.
Gavin Kylan from the Giants.
Okay.
Second baseman / they'll try him at short. Really, really sound bat. So again, if it's like a really low price guy that is just going to hit and has at least average power potential, sign me up. I think Gavin can swing it a little bit too.
And I lied. Lou Brock is the other retro guy. There's two. So Lou Brock with the White Sox.
Let's go.
There you go. Awesome. Aram Leighton, Just Baseball. Make sure you check him out on socials. Check out the podcast, and we'll have him back here in a little bit. Thank you for the time, buddy.
Appreciate it. See you guys Wednesday morning.
Sounds good. See you, man. There was Aram. The old draft debrief.
This isn't good. He's multitasking now.
I'm trying to pull a mailbag.
Aram tried to buy spots from him. Did you make him a deal?
I told him to text me. I'm going to cut him a deal.
I bought the Cub spot in
Did you
one
really?
of those jumbo case. Here's
I
the
was
thing.
wondering.
One of the things I wanted to ask before he left, well, actually, it's fine on this question. This one's more you anyway. So when we were going over pricing, we said the hobby box, and then you clarified the naming difference. And we talked about the Breakers Delight. I will go over to Dave and Adams, and they've got their naming just a little bit different. So they have they don't have just hobby boxes. They have hobby jumbo.
Right.
And then they've got the Breakers Delight, and then they've got
Super
the
Jumbo.
Super Jumbo.
Yep.
Can I just say how much I hate this naming? And I know I've said this before, like when they were doing the HTA stuff, like it's so confusing to me just because like it's different than most other products. I don't know why it has to like be a different naming structure than
Well, especially
else.
draft. No other one has super jumbo. Other things have jumbo.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody else has super. Everything else is
Exactly.
just hobby, jumbo, Breakers Delight.
Exactly.
I don't know why they don't just merge the three here. Yeah, I don't know why draft is different.
I'm also kind
I
of
agree.
confused that the Breakers Delight has 3 autographs, and so does the hobby jumbo, whatever you want to call it.
This year it's just hobby, by the way. They're the only ones calling it hobby jumbo. They're
Okay.
doing that though because for years it was jumbo. There was no hobby draft. It was jumbo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe okay. So that makes at least sense. So then, what is the difference then again with the hobby and the Breakers Delight if they both have 3 autos in there? Because I can't.
So Breakers Delight is only 10 cards a box,
Sure.
3 autos, and then just refractors and color. With hobby, you get 3 autos, some color, not as much, and then a ton of base cards.
Not
there's
as much
like
color. Okay.
There's 32 cards times 12. Yeah, you're getting 400 cards a pack. Box, I mean, in hobby.
So that's what I'm trying to think of. Like they're charging what, $220 more for a Breakers Delight than for the hobby box, and I'm like, what are you getting out of the Breakers Delight
More
that you're
color.
not? And it's more color.
And
Okay.
also the perception. The last few SKUs, Breakers Delight has had the big color, the
Have they
big
had
chases.
bigger hits in it. Because it's funny.
Let me say this: it feels like they have. Yes.
Well, and another reason why I ask is so we just had the Marvel Studios product came out in both hobby and Breakers Delight. I was ripping both. I felt like the hobby was better, and I know they
Really?
did this with like a Star Wars product last year where I felt the same thing. I felt like overall the hobby was
Force
better.
was strong. Oh, sorry.
I mean, honestly, it did feel like where I was getting guys who were like, oh yeah, well, we pulled an out of 25 in the Breakers Delight one, but the out of 25 was like a different parallel. You know, it's like a different
Like
added.
the geometric orange.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, oh, well, it's not the same. It's not like the true orange or the true red or whatever. And so that's where the guys were like, yeah, let's just stick to the hobby. So
Okay.
was just
I
my-
could see I think there's still some perception like that in baseball.
really,
But it is weird. Yeah, I don't know why they do Super Jumbo. Super Jumbo, by the way, I'm trying to think how many cards it has. 5 packs, 100. It has
huge.
600 cards in it per box. Miserable.
that's insane. Okay. That's gotta be a heavy box.
And those
too.
are slightly more. Those are 1,200.
Yeah.
So on average, it's like 1,200 for Super Jumbo, 950 on average for Delight, and Hobby is like 7 to 750.
with 5 autos in it though. I mean, that's actually to me. I mean, I'm chasing autos in most products that I'm getting into, and if a hobby is $750 and it has 3, and this is we're saying what $250 or $450 more, but it's got 5. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of worth it to go jumbo over just the regular hobby. If I'm getting into a break, I think I'd go the super jumbo over the hobby jumbo.
Super Jumbo.
Whatever. It's
Not Hobby Jumbo.
before we do
Jesse freaking loves draft.
Before we do mailbag, I did want to point this out because I've seen this come up a few times online this morning. The LeBron James wearing the special edition 23rd season patch.
Hadn't heard about it.
Really? So it's he's wearing a jersey patch that he's going to be wearing for the rest of the season starting tonight.
Okay.
He's playing in Sacramento, which apparently is where he started in his career.
Also the
with
capital of LA.
Thank you.
California, not LA. Sorry.
Okay. The Cavaliers, I guess his first game with the Cavs was in Sacramento, so it's
okay.
It's kind of a thing, but these are going to be going into cards somewhere in the near future as well. Nurturally, indeed. So his 23rd year playing, he is number 23 as well. So was Jordan. He did it first. And so now he's got this patch. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm sure there's going to be tons of people.
That's going to be a stupid price card.
I wonder how many cards they will use, though. Because, I mean...
Oh, is it one for every game the rest of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so... but that'll be...
Still interesting, though. It's something, I don't know.
Sure. Mailbag.
Sure.
We actually have a decent mailbag.
We had Shep on Thursday. We did confirm Shep now.
Yep.
Oh, we haven't talked about that on here. Shep is on Thursday with reaction to some news that's going to break tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that news will break tomorrow. I also was thinking that's probably not big enough where we need to like get anything emergency live. Maybe just like a reaction.
I think if nothing else,
Post, obviously,
we can see what happens in the fallout on Wednesday and Thursday, see what people say, if they say anything.
I'm going to limb and say there's a lot of hatred towards it.
No, I don't know about that. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Mailbag. So that'll be Thursday's show.
Okay.
Trey Reeves, will any of the coaching changes from now until next season cause any market movement if the Falcons get Harbaugh? I think Falcons cards have a big upside. Offense has tons of weapons, and the defense looks great.
I mean, the guy has a 2-time MVP winner, Lamar, and they can't make the playoffs. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen a coach immediately really have a big impact on anybody that I can think of. If the players play better under him, sure. Mm-hmm. I also don't view Harbaugh like this unbelievable coach. And I don't know. I mean, what's he done for how many big games have the Ravens won the last 5 years? Like, they've won a couple playoff games, but by and large, like, Lamar's career has been very anticlimactic. Unbelievable regular season. Yeah. Not a lot of postseason success. I mean, also, what's the quarterback situation there? You have a lot of talent, sure. Who's your quarterback? It's an aging Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix. I don't think either one of those are great options. And the NFL is about quarterbacks. Look at the teams that are left in the NFL playing right now. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in football. Bo Nix and Drake Maye, unbelievable right now. The other one will either be Aaron Rodgers or C.J. Stroud. Again, both had very good years. In the NFC, Stafford, MVP. Mm-hmm. Sam Darnold, phenomenal season. Caleb played out of his mind. And who's Brock Purdy. By far the worst of the NFC is Brock Purdy. And Purdy's led a team to a Super Bowl before. Yeah. So, quarterback or nothing in my opinion.
Justin Aldred buying Bryce Young in the offseason.
Same as Jesse. Is this your burner?
Justin Herbert might just need his O-line back.
I guess. I would not. I'll be honest, you could not pay me. And if you're going to buy Herbert, just wait. The perception, the taste left everybody's minds and mouths right now is that he is horrible. Like, that was a pathetic showing. Why would you why would you rush to buy anything of his right now? I have a feeling the market is going to fall out of his stuff this next 3 months.
Here's a question. When do you think, if ever, does the team say, all right, Justin, you're not the guy?
I mean, usually stuff like that's like money. Like, is he going to re-sign a major deal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, like, I also don't know that many guys I would just clearly take before him if I'm starting a team. Mm-hmm. There's 10 for sure, but like, he's still in that discussion. Like, he's still a crazy talented guy. You have to have an offensive line for most quarterbacks to be great. Pretty rare a quarterback. Like, Mahomes had some unbelievable runs with a pretty dog crap offensive line. Yeah. Led that team to the Super Bowl against the Bucs. Now, granted, they got stomped, but that line was pretty terrible by the end of the year. He was good enough to overcome it. Brady was good enough for a long time. And Rodgers, like, unbelievably fast release guys. In general, though, like, you need a line in front of a quarterback.
Yeah, okay. Sean Saito going to say the quiet thing out loud. The reason SGC, he says tougher grading, tag AI grading, and BGS subgrades haven't performed well in this modern market while PSA has thrived is because the majority of sellers don't actually want to know the real condition of their card or for it to actually be rigorously graded. People want to hide behind a PSA 10 and be done with it.
Correct.
To flip, sell the
Simplicity.
card without knowing what really went into the grade.
And by the way, of the three of those, who had a huge surge, at least for a couple of years in this window we're talking about? SGC.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Dude, there's no... People like to see... people in general like simplicity. Again, we kind of get caught in this circle where, like, me and you break full time. I'm on Facebook all day. I'm buying and selling singles. I'm flipping on eBay. Been doing it for years. That's cool. A lot of guys just like, it's a 10? Oh, wait, it's a 9.5, but it has different subgrades than the other 9.5, so it's not? Yeah. Oh, wait, it's graded AI by a company I haven't really heard of. Like, there's a lot of that weird crap where it's like people just want
They want to take
They want simplicity.
Yes, they want to. They don't want to have to explain.
Resale. Correct. Again, because if it was all about transparency, then forever BGS would stay on top. Only one with subgrades. And this tag is using machine grade. I don't know. AI is a stupid use of the term, but fine. Like that's what's important.
I've heard a lot. So I put up a post on the Hobby Nonsense pod recently talking about tag grading. And
is it big at TCG, by the way, or Pokemon or any of that stuff?
It's bigger in TCG.
Is it really? Okay.
But that being said, someone was doing it specifically because he had said, well, they felt like tag was grading more rigorously, and he was able to flip through. I think it was like he took 7 PSA 10s, tag 10s, and he flipped them over to PSA 10s. Oh, okay. You know what? Hang on. He took
tag 9s or something?
Tag 9s and flip them to PSA 10s.
Say more numbers, though.
That is a lot of it.
7?
He has 7 cards. They were all tag 9s, flipped 5 of those 7 to PSA 10s.
Because tag grade's tougher.
And that's what his argument was. Now, after that post, though, a lot of the comments came back where it's like, yeah, that is, one viewpoint. However, the other viewpoint is, you could send off the same card multiple times, and it comes back all kinds of different grades, and it'll say different reasons for those grades, because that's one of the things tag does is like, hey, you have a sheet saying why it got the grade that it did, but the AI that it's using for whatever reason is saying different things than it did the last time, which you would think shouldn't be the case.
So so it's not actually AI?
Well, no. I mean, it's AI, but I mean, AI is not perfect yet, and these systems are not perfected yet. So it's like, well, I do still think like that is probably the future of the hobby if people, don't act the way Sean Saito is saying they do, which he's absolutely right.
Dead by then.
But yeah, I do think like it's not there yet.
Kill me.
Stephen Fink. As businessmen, how do you differentiate your PC funds and purchases for SCN? As a collector myself, sometimes it's hard to allocate the funds between the two. It gets hard. The waters definitely get muddied because there are times where I'm like, oh, I'm buying this for myself with my business card because there is a high chance that one day I'm going to flip this and sell it in a break or something like that.
It goes in your inventory. Yeah, for tax purposes, like at the end of the year, you pay a tax on inventory. So that way when you sell the next year, if you have a huge, it comes off of that as well.
So, yeah, a good question. I mean, it's not easy. I'll say that sometimes. Vaughn Bailey, I would like to hype Salvador Perez and Bobby Witt Jr. because in KC, it's baseball season now. Okay, Vaughn, you've done your
Salvador
job.
Perez and who?
Bobby Witt.
I mean, Witt doesn't need any hype, and I don't know what I thought Sally was retired. Okay, he's a nice guy, though.
Zach Kell says he's still on the Herbert bus. Top 10 in stats this year, above Mahomes, Allen, and Love.
Yeah.
He got absolutely murdered this year with that line. The Pats hit him so hard last night, I thought they were going to bring a shovel and stretcher at some point. Great show, guys. Hope to see you at the National.
Dude, that was they beat, you almost felt bad for the poor kid by the end. Like, they beat the absolute crap out of him last night, especially in the second half. It was glorious to see. Really fondled my soul.
Alex Warwick.
2 hands.
Whose cards do you think might go up in value because of the playoffs?
The people that win.
I would say like what we talked about earlier in that segment. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
the people that win is probably going to be the best answer there. Whoever you think is going to win, buy those cards.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's higher upside with guys. There's not, like Sam Darnold we talked about has more upside if he wins than a Josh. Like, Josh Allen will obviously go way up.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold is way, way lower than him. If Drake Maye or Bo Nix make a run to the Super Bowl, it gets a little weird.
Those are going to go crazy.
Yeah, Caleb Williams, same thing, because he's young, and then it's like, well, look how much he's going to do and whatever. So it starts to get weird.
Frank Dopolito bought a card for someone for Secret Santa this year. The price I bought it at, sold $10 shy of the gift maximum we were spending, but the shipping was $9. If you were in my situation, would you count the price of shipping on the gift total, or would you have gotten something else to reach the gift maximum?
Don't buy gifts for people.
Love
ever.
from your editor. I didn't know who you was.
Who is it? Oh, it's Frank. Is that what the name, Frank?
Oh, that's
Rebecca's Frank.
Our Frank, the guy who does the editing of the show.
I hope he edits better than he writes that question. I'll tell you that right now. Frank, you're scaring me. I don't know. I would just count the value of the purchase price of the card. The card cost me $50. That is the purchase price of the card. Shipping, tax, and all the other crap is secondary. So go if you had a $50 limit, buy a $50 card. Don't worry about.
Oh, you don't count that as part of the price?
For a gift, right?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't usually buy gifts based on like a price limit, but I do consider what I spent in total as what the card costs.
But if you're buying it as a gift and there's a limit on what you can buy, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, if there's actual rules, I guess that would be fair.
There's no rules. You know what I've learned? There's no rules with Frank.
There's no rules in baseball. Is that a thing? Is that a statement someone has once said?
Not anybody intelligent.
Carlos Rodriguez, do you think the first refractors that came out in 1993 would be worth more or less today if they were numbered to their production quantity?
Oh,
to their
man.
production quantity.
Yeah, like number 20 of 25.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. The allure with those was they're crazy hard to hit and they're super tough to grade. And it was the first refractor ever. And it was just like amazing. So I don't know.
Cool.
It does make you wonder, like, well,
I wonder if they just have higher value in general because they're the first.
Oh, of course. But I mean, I also think, though, the mystique of not knowing how many there are adds to it. So I'm glad they're not numbered.
Do you think that if you went out there and bought, I don't know, I don't have any idea what even the sport was for the product that it came out with. I'd assume maybe baseball.
That's baseball, correct.
So if you
basketball was the same year too, though.
If you bought like say a non-rookie that year, and you got
Ken
the
Griffey
refractor,
Jr. Yep.
and you bought a refractor of it the next year, I wonder what kind of differentiation you're seeing in price.
Yeah, really? So like the Griffey 93
There's
PSA 10s are like
know that
they're like $20,000. I want to say the 94s are like 8 to 10, but half.
Really? That's wow! I would never have thought that. Coming from a collector standpoint, this is Robert Stark, by the way. Would you agree that sets like the following should be incorporated more than they currently are? So he has a set. What is this? Finest? Ooh, it's some kind of stained glass Bowman thing.
Can you pull it up?
Yep. Here. There you go.
Oh yeah, the stained glass. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Came out a couple years ago. Nice product.
I will say the set how he's showing off the set is because the set background or the background is showing a full, I guess, mosaic of the Bowman logo and some stained glass art with it. So when you put it like in a 3x3 rectangle, it does show a really cool picture. So I think that's kind of like the point he's getting to, like where some of these insert sets should be probably worth more once they are completed when you see like a completed
as a
picture.
whole. I see what you're saying. Yeah, here's the problem though. That's such a niche thing. Like insert sets already are niche, and then it's an insert set that also is because of pictures. The whole, then you're really like a niche of a niche almost.
Well, the only thing is like you've seen some of those jersey ones where they've taken like a whole jersey, cut it up. Someone in the Facebook group posted this. I think it was like a Bruins logo, I want to say.
Hey, drop the just Facebook.
But they posted where they had collected all of these jersey patches for some player, and when you put them all together, it actually showed the full jersey.
Sure, they do
where
it.
They cut it.
That's what I mean. It's a niche thing.
That's just so. I do think that's so cool. If it's not more valuable, I wish it was.
To that point, though, it is more valuable if you actually do it with like set like that because like no one ever sees it. When you find the right, it's gonna take you time. When you find the right buyer, I bet there's a stupid premium on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I try to be fair with you, Jesse.
I appreciate that. I believe that's all.
It's a good show. A little lengthy. Not bad.
We went a little longer. By the way, I am also breaking on Wednesday. It's nothing
release
baseball. No, it's all
good. I'm glad they didn't do another release.
No, I'm
the same
glad
day.
too. Yeah, no release. Just Marvel Studios. We're going back to it. So and Pixar Gold. That'll be fun.
Also this week for the first time ever, I think it's going to be Friday night. Alex Clever Cube and is going to once a month. He's going to take over the SCN eBay page. I have a quota to hit on there for sales.
Oh, he's going to go live.
He is going to go live from there while he's. He's in the same boat as you. Can't get onboarded yet. So,
okay.
In the meantime, he's going to sell over there baseball.
I still haven't even heard anything. I got the Adam Ireland reaching out saying,
"Well, he heard your read." That's the problem. You ruined that for yourself. He will be live. I think it's Friday night, so you'll see him doing a single show.
That's pretty cool. What's he doing sport wise? Do you know?
Mostly baseball.
Baseball?
He might be only. He has another guy that does only football. I think he does just baseball.
I thought he does soccer too.
No.
I thought he's like a soccer collector.
I tell you, the other thing he does though is ripping ships. But he will rip it himself. We were talking this morning. I think that's something I'm going to try to start doing. When we have product, we have a bunch of.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense with draft. It's too expensive. But like Pristine comes out in a couple weeks. take a box, rip it live so people actually get to see like 8 a.m. on release morning,
Yeah.
and then just sell the singles right there. You can probably recoup most of your money.
Sell the
Maybe
singles.
it entices other guys to buy boxes as well, but I
I
do think it'd be kind of a cool thing to show the audience, so.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't know.
that's
We'll
why those unboxing videos tend to do decently. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, like Pac-Man's the most watched guy in the space, and all he does is rip boxes. Yeah. He's got like 85 trillion views a video, so I don't care about that, but I do think it'd be cool. Like, hey, at least here it is. Here's the singles, and if you want to buy boxes. So, yeah, so draft is this week. Ooh, there is also, is it soccer? I think I bought a soccer product for this week, too.
Did you really?
Yeah, I'll light my money on fire. Oh, it's 3, excuse me. Bowman Draft is obviously Wednesday. Select Baseball was cheap this year. I bought a case of that just to have. And then UEFA Club Competitions Hobby Boxes. It comes out on the 15th, so that would be Thursday. I got one case. Those boxes are dirt cheap. We'll just have single boxes you can rip.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to do a rip and ship with that. I'm going to rip them, make up names, and sell that crap. I sold 3 cards last night.
So you're
Yamal.
different than just someone buying a personal. You're just going to, before they buy the personal, you'll rip the box and then
sell
pick
the
whatever's
singles.
in there.
And people can buy personal boxes also. But I'm going to open up a box. Hey, here's what the product looks like.
Yeah.
Sell the singles.
That'll be I'm very, very curious to see how that goes. I would like to know, like, after you do it, because that's the fear, right? Like, anybody ripping boxes, you're going to open a box and it's not going to have what you would hope was in there to recoup your costs.
And that is the expectation. I'm assuming we are not going to make our money back. But
Yeah.
the win is don't get totally crushed, and then also hopefully entice people, oh, this is the product, I'll buy a box for cheap.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why, like, draft, it doesn't make sense. Draft, we're going to sell for like $900.
Yeah.
By the way,
can't
we
do
will
that,
have deals on draft on eBay Live, especially cheaper than anywhere else. But I'm not ripping a box.
I think that's hard to do with a brand. Well,
because you only
I
get
do
10
think-
cards. Like,
I think
you
it's
get
hard to
smoked.
do with a brand new product because guys are like, oh, let me go comp it real quick. And
No,
then they
that's
can't
why
comp.
usually you can do better because there are no, like, look at
You
the
think
history
that
of
people overpay than
always. Every product that comes out, look at what prices sell for on eBay, and then look at them 2 weeks later.
in a live
99%
in
come
an
down.
auction, yes, but in a live auction, that's where I'm very curious.
Oh, maybe. The live auction could be different, sure.
But yeah,
We'll see.
Okay, that'll be cool content. So we'll be back on Thursday with Shep and some fun news.
I feel like we're missing something. Goodbye. We might be
Do we
missing-
have a plug?
We might be missing something. Goodbye. Hang up. No, don't hang up the phone. Get out of here. Get out of here.